everybody. KC0 VII Tom and TLJ Joyce is actually inside doing some orders. We got a couple orders in this Saturday morning. I'm out here in the camper trying to finish up getting this little girl winterized. Last video we talked about I was not going to do anything like that. I'll show you guys how to winterize the water system. Since then I've had a couple people at work ask me how to winterize their campers. A friend of ours, SVG and SPM up in Austin, they bought a small camper and they were kind of curious what they should do to winterize it. They got a very good deal late, end of the season. Somebody was upgrading to a larger camper and they were able to get that at a heck of a steal. I told TLJ if they don't buy it, we're going to buy it. Hold on until springtime and sell it or get rid of this one. Nice little camper. So when you go to winterize your rig, there's a lot of variables, so this is going to be real generic. First thing, have it plugged in a couple days before. Most of the power converters in your campers only put a 2 amp trickle charge, at 2 amp at the most, to your batteries just to float them, get them out to full charge, and they sit there. So you want to make sure they're fully charged before you remove them. When I was working for F. Johnson, we were using some very large connectors to go from the battery back up to the repeater power supply. And I bought some of those offline. Surplus store. They're genuine F. Johnson parts. I just added those onto the battery and on the wiring harness to the camper. It's just a simple unplug and you're off, and you need to put the battery back in, you just plug it back in the way you fly. We make sure the gas tank on the camper, fuel tank for the engine, is full, and the LP tank at least 3/4 full. We'll get more into that here later. The last camping trip this year, we went up to Spring Creek up in Ellendale. When we left here, I had actually filled up the gray water and the black water tank. Kind of learned this from growing up with my dad when we were going camping. Had them about 3/4 full of water. We went up there, dumped the tanks when we got there, and it's amazing how much stuff will come out even though you just added clean water. Running down the road, the agitation kind of helped cleanse the inside. Then when we went to dump when we leave, it was a lot better. So those tanks are fairly dried out and are empty right now. When we park Pooh for the last time for the fall, or what you should do when you park your camper, is make sure you have a spot where one corner of the camper is lower than the rest, so any rain or snow melt on top will run off. We don't want that water accumulating up there and turn to ice or get a snowpack up there. All food items are removed, toilet paper, napkins, paper towels, all that is removed. We don't want to make a nice little mouse hotel for the winter time. And then once we get all that stuff, busy stuff, I always pull out the electronics too. TVs are all out, the computers are out. The stereo back here in the coach area, or the back of the camping side, that's an automotive style, so that can handle the cold weather. It seems that the deep cold in the middle of winter time will kill off what I've seen, just my experience. TVs and DVDs and computers, they're not really made for that type of cold weather. So all that's out. I'll be pulling out the FT99 1A here shortly after we do this video. Didn't quite get around to get everything we wanted done this year. It was kind of a funny fall. A lot of people I talked to, they're just like me today, kind of scurrying to get what they had to get done. We had about 3.8 inches of snow here last night in the early morning hours. So, and of course, snow blowers weren't ready, so I had to get one of them up and going, and at least got the front parking lot area cleaned off. I'm back to the camper here. So once we had our parked and nose down, this time I got the driver's side nose down on that corner, so anything that will melt will drain off. All food items, all paper products are off. I route the power cable up off the ground on top of the roof rack and into the connection on the side of the building with the tie wrap to hold it in place. That keeps a way for the mice to shinny up the power cord and get into the system. That's a nice little doorway where the power cord comes in, where they get in. The tires, we have tire covers we put over them, keep the sun from rotting them. Get that dry rot or weather check, as some people call it. And I'm sure if the mouse is, determined enough, they'll get in that way. But just kind of limited, ways in. Go through it one last time. Anything that's freezable, you want to pull out. Water lines, big problem with liquids. When they freeze, they expand, the ice expands. That's where you can rupture lines and break bottles, so make sure all that stuff's out. 2 rules of thought on the water supply in the camper. First rule is you can hook up an air compressor and blow all the water out. The second rule is use a RV style antifreeze that is safe enough to drink, and use that to pump through it. A lot of the newer campers, they'll have like a little command center. You can bypass a hot water heater, place to dump in the antifreeze, and it'll pump it through the system. These older ones like here, this is a 91 Jayco. They did not come from the factory with it, but you can actually go online or some RV dealers and buy the bypass kit for the hot water heater. Hot water tank. That's 6 to 10 gallons of capacity in that tank alone for the hot water heater. So if you're going to buy, 10 gallons of antifreeze, RV antifreeze at $2 and some odd cents, you can see where it's going to add up quickly. So if you can bypass that, open up the bottom drain valve on the RV tank, so most of the water, I'll say 99% of the water, there might be a little bit of puddle in there. When that freezes and expands, it's not going to do any damage. Same with the gray water, black water, and the fresh water tank. Drain those out completely, and you'll be fine in that. I have an addition onto the water supply where it's a little T where you can just pump in the antifreeze right out of the gallon jug. I can do it just under 2 gallons. This is only a 23 footer. Open up all the faucets, make sure you get nice pink color coming out of the hot and cold side. Make sure you get enough down the traps, flush the toilet a couple times. The antifreeze won't evaporate as fast as water, so that'll keep the traps full, so you won't have any sewer gases that might be forming down in the gray water and the black water tank into the place. And so that's kind of nice about that. One thing, for the batteries on that disconnect, the connector and the LP tank full. Now we have a little lifeboat here in North Iowa. We do lose power once in a while due to bad weather, ice storms, stuff like that. And in 10 minutes, I could have the camper warming up, pull a battery from out of the basement, put it in here, fire up the furnace, open up the LP tank, and you got a nice little shelter. We've actually had to do that one time. It was the middle of the day, we lost power due to some high winds, and it was kind of cold out. Enough we had to run the furnaces in the greenhouse. Got the camper going, and we're just sitting there waiting while the sun was starting to go down, so I was starting to ready one of the generators to tap into the system to get the furnaces going in the furnace and in the building. So but by then the power had come back up. So it's nice to have nice little insurance. Someplace you can go in the middle of the night if you do lose power due to ice storms here. Not as bad as they get down south, thank goodness for that. So like I said, just go through. Everybody's got their, depending on what type of rig they have, it's going to be a little different. Thing is, just keep an eye on it once in a while. The fuel and the front end on this one, like I said, is full. I run that a little bit every month. The first weekend of the month, I'll go out and fire it up and let the engine idle up. If the weather, the snowpack, I should say, is not too deep, we'll just back it out, her parking stall, and make a little trip to Osage and back, enough to get the engine warm up and the transmission. Just, it's like keep her exercise, keep everything nice and lubricated. To make sure when we get it parked back in, we get that nose down position so the water runs off. If we get a lot of snowfall in the night, usually 5 or 6 inches, something like that, I'll just get a ladder or a floor broom and just gently push the snow off the top of it. Careful around the vents so you don't break them. That plastic can get pretty brittle when it's cold out. So, but like I said, it's not that much to do. This year with everything going on and the way the weather was, and like I said, everybody else is running late, so I'm not the only one. She's all set to go. We just got done running the engine, and she's all warm in here. I just tested the furnace out, and so in this video, we'll put her tonight, and we'll probably stop back in a month here and fire her up just to make sure everything's okay and keep an eye on it. Next big project for us will probably be moving, like I said, the 991A is going inside, and hopefully the week of Thanksgiving is supposed to be fairly warm. The snowpack will be melted, and we'll try to get up that offset Wyndham and see how that's going to go. So all in all, everything's looking pretty good here. First video without the dog. She's still around, being a little, in charge, but like I said, her feet are only this big, and we got this much snowfall, so she don't want to drag her belly too much outside here. So tell your friends and other hams, and be sure to subscribe and like. We are still looking for some logging software. Right now she is still using paper stuff, but NXOP Junior up there, he recommended I can't remember the package right now, I got it written down inside. We are looking again at that ham radio deluxe. Kind of take at that. I'm just a little concerned about that. It just looks a little too busy for her to operate. What you and your ed recommended looked pretty good. And if you guys have anything else out there, let us know. I'm gonna go inside and hopefully see if I can get the everything ready inside. So next week I can quick get the die pull up and she can start making contacts. And we're getting into the winter here in North Iowa, across the country. So that means QSO parties and other contesting coming up, and she's biting up the bit. That reminds me, I gotta get the headset out of here too before I get in trouble. So 7-3 everybody. Hope to see you soon.